Let me ask you something. You got your shot?
I do.
Let's put them in the air like we just don't care.
Okay. Cheers.
Oh, hold on. Wait. It's recording. All right, cups in the air, co-host to a black face,
Cheers.
to a black face
Black
year.
face, white space. Yes. 2020.
No, period.
Lord.
Shit. Sparks blunt. Let me make sure it's recording right.
That was dope.
Listen, the nose is very stuffy. Okay.
I would try to keep it as normal as possible.
Listen, the people just want to know, is it Rona?
It's not Rona. Y'all, it's not Rona. Just ain't nothing that a little NyQuil can't cure.
Little NyQuil?
A little
okay.
NyQuil.
Hey, how you feel? Baby girl. We taking it.
I'm feeling good.
You feeling good?
Great.
Feeling great?
I'm feeling great. A little stuffy.
How was your week? Because, you know, we meet at the end of the
Friday.
week. How was your week? Your week was productive, my sister.
It was productive.
I see you give me the Nubian vibes.
Yes. Today we are staying woke for my people.
Facts. Like, okay, we gonna dive right into this thing. And I want to start with, as always, the black politics. So as many of you guys know, in the case of Breonna Taylor, there were no charges filed against the police shooting of Breonna Taylor, with the exception of wanton endangerment. And that endangerment was for the bullets that did not hit Breonna Taylor during her execution.
That is correct.
So, to me, not only is it disgusting as a human, it's disgusting as a Black American. And it's just like, if we cannot be safe sleeping in our homes, where on earth, where in America do you expect us to be safe? How do you believe this ideal of being safe when we can be woken up, regardless of the transgression of anybody that we're dealing with, to bullet holes in our heart, and for you to have no accountability? It's just fucking sad.
I agree. I mean, and to be honest, it goes a little bit deeper than that, because you look at how disgusting this is, but you also look at how the black individual, the black human, is not valued in any capacity. As we stated before in our previous podcast, we talked about with the $12 million settlement and it being hush money, and at the same time, you know, we had the white Australian woman that, you know, had the same run-in with a police officer, a black police officer at that, where he ended up spending 11 years locked up in prison, and she ended up also getting a $50 million settlement for the incident. Now let's talk about Breonna Taylor. I mean, we have a $12 million settlement, and we have no indictment or no accountability in regards to the life or the loss of life for Breonna Taylor. So we don't see any accountability. We just see somebody trying to patch things up to make us go away.
Yeah, I totally feel like the people who are not concerned, this can be your mother, this could be your sister, this could be your niece, this could literally be any female person in your life that this could happen to. And it really, the issue is how the warrant and the no-knock situation even happened to begin with. And the fact that it's a deeper level of accountability that need to be had. And the fact that the only charges were the charges of the bullets that missed her. That like you
Exactly.
like that's so laughable. I'm only a laughing matter because it's America. Like we only if you're gonna shoot to kill a nigga is what I heard in that charge. And as Tamika Mallory so eloquently stated, all skin folk is not your kinfolk, Attorney General Daniel Cameron, because you're Attorney General Uncle Ruckus to me, because you're not my kinfolk and you're not my skin folk. And that's on a period. You wouldn't have been a house nigga, so you need to act like you wouldn't have been a house nigga.
And to be honest, that's nothing but facts. That is a powerful statement, and I honestly agree. I mean, you have when you have the Samuel L. Jackson of the Django going on here, that's exactly for the Django. We have Samuel L. Jackson of the Django going on right here.
That's a fact.
That is straight in the forefront. She took the words out of my mouth, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and this is exactly why I tell people it's not just about voting for your president, y'all. Y'all have to go. Local and state governments mean the most because
a real attorney general could have did something.
Okay, thank you. You got to pay attention. You can't just listen. You got to show and prove at this point. We don't need too much more lip service. We need action. That's what we need. We need action.
I agree.
We're going to go away. We're going to be quiet. We're going to be satisfied with the fact that the family got some money and that this cop got some kind of charges. I mean, listen, you guys, up to 5 years in prison. Up to 5. That's your maximum. That's your minimum. Your max. Yeah. For the loss of a life of a woman that slept innocently in her bed.
I pray I'm gonna end this because we're gonna talk more about solutions in my Black Agenda section. But I absolutely pray for the city of Louisville. I pray for the family of Breonna Taylor, and I pray for our movement. I pray that the millennial generation can be as effective as those who came before us in our fight for justice, because right now we are in a second civil rights movement. We are,
and I completely agree. I mean, we need to really come together and we need to figure out what we can do together to move forward, to progress, Absolutely. And we have to stop living in facades and we have to look at where we are now, our reality. Where are we? What are we doing to fix this? Like, we have to really come together.
Absolutely. So in the spirit of coming together, one thing we have to do is vote, right?
Absolutely.
So I do want to, I'm going to have to bring, we love our references here, but a big concern of mine in this election is that Joe Biden is repeating the mistakes of Hilary Clinton 2016 campaign. He really is doing the blueprint of her campaign and he's completing the same mayonnaise, old white person mistake. As it concerns Black voters and non-voters. And Michael Moore, who was the filmmaker who predicted Trump's election and told all the naysayers of the states that he was going to win. He told him Michigan, he's from Michigan, he told him Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin were the states that Hillary would lose and eventually lose. And I want to play a statement from him, from the person who predicted Hillary's demise and all of our 2016 midnight crisis. I want to just play you something that he said recently in an interview.
National poll versus today. That poll in June, Biden was ahead of Trump by 16 points. Today, in the Detroit Free Press poll, which was published yesterday, Trump has cut that lead in half. Biden's not ahead by 16 points anymore. He's ahead by 8. And with white voters, he's essentially tied. With men, of course, he's significantly ahead. This should be of concern to everybody. This is true in Pennsylvania, where Biden and Trump are tied, I think 49-49 with white voters. But again, we're not talking about what needs to be talked about, which is who do we have to get out to vote? Who's got to get out? The people that got left behind in 2016, the people that were not spoken to.
And then Michael goes on to be a little bit more specific about those people who were not spoken to.
2016, that's
right.
Well, this is the 21st century. We're doing Facebook ads, we're doing digital, and it's like, oh my God, Joe Biden did come to Michigan last week, so he's already ahead of Hillary on that level. But he went to Michigan and visited 2 towns, and did not visit Black Michigan. He went to white Michigan. He went to conservative Democratic Macomb County. He went to Warren, and then he went to Ecorse, which is what we call downriver from Detroit.
So basically what Michael is saying is Joe Biden is counting on the black vote, but he's not working for the black vote. He's going to he's trying to convince white Trump voters who didn't like Hillary to vote for him, as opposed to listening to the concerns of his biggest constituency, which is us. You know, we like you because of Barack. Our mothers, our grandmothers, our uncles, our fathers, they voted for you because of Barack. We can't lose Michigan, we can't lose the Midwest, and we can't afford y'all to not take this seriously and to think that you can convince a Trump voter to not vote for Trump again. That's not the answer. There was actually 42% of the country who did not vote last year. And a high percentage of that was black people. You have to speak to the black community to get the black vote. And that's just period.
I mean, it's definitely about getting people active out there. But like you said, when your biggest concern, when you have outcries like you do right now, you have movements like the Black Lives Matter movement, it's important to incorporate in your campaign some kind of level of awareness to what's going on in your current situation, whether you're in power or not in power, and to reach out to those communities, whether it is minorities or blacks, regardless of how people may perceive you. It's really about if you're doing the right thing. It's not about, is this a good look for me, or is this going to get you to the next level? If you are sincerely compassionate about another individual or a human being, you are still going to go out of your way to make sure that person is okay, you're all right, we're going to get through this together, and make it definitely a partnership, regardless of race, creed, or sexuality, or whatever. So exactly. That definitely,
and to lead into the next topic, Joe Biden, I want you to understand, my point is that specifically what this podcast is catering to is black millennials. We care about student loan debt elimination. We care about police reform, reforming the whole system, criminal justice reform. We care about legalization of marijuana. We care about raising the minimum wage. We care about climate change, because we're going to live on this planet and not you old dusty motherfuckers. We care about a whole host of issues that you're not speaking to us in a more pressing way about. And I'm nervous that the people that I know that didn't turn out in 2016 are going to do the same thing again. And I don't want that to happen.
Right. And you know what? I was actually listening this morning on the radio to something Charlamagne the Guy said on the Breakfast Club, is that we say that we need police reform. Mm-hmm. But to be honest, we don't need reform. We need to break down the whole system and rewrite it from the ground up. Like, it's not just about reform. I mean, because to be honest, what are we reforming? What our Constitution or our rights were built upon was not in regards to Black people. Okay, this was not written in our favor. This was not written for it to be fair amongst different colors or creeds. We have to be honest about that. So what are we reforming? We really need to just crumble the whole thing and start from the ground up and rebuild it.
That's a great transition point, because on the Black agenda, I have one item, which is this whole notion of defunding the police, right? Yeah. And I think that nobody can say it more eloquently than Angela Davis. And I do think that the people who had this agenda did the wrong thing by calling it defund the police. They should have called it refund the police. Because we don't want to defund the whole thing. We understand they're for emergencies and for situational purposes. However, there needs to be a refunding in the police. And I want Angela Davis to say this for me more clearly in this clip because she can explain it better than I can. Period.
Okay.
The call to defund the police is, I think, an abolitionist demand, but it reflects only one aspect of the process represented by the demand. Defunding the police is not simply about withdrawing funding for law enforcement and doing nothing else. And it appears as if this is the rather superficial understanding that has caused Biden to move in the direction he's moving in. It's about shifting public funds to new services and new institutions, mental health counselors who can respond to people who are in crisis without arms. It's about shifting funding to education, to housing, to recreation. All of these things help to create security and safety. It's about learning that safety, safeguarded by violence, is not really safety. And I would say that abolition is not primarily a negative strategy. It's not primarily about dismantling, getting rid of, but it's about re-envisioning. It's about building.
Let me tell you the word that she just gave y'all. She said safety, safeguarded by violence, is not really safety. Did you hear Sister Angela speak? She said safety, safeguarded by violence, is not safety. And so what the call to refund the police really means is what she said. We need to put money into mental health institutions. We need to put money into education because we know the prison to pipeline is real. They build the amount of prisons based off of people graduating high school, and we already know Black males is the highest non-graduating population. So education, mental health, resources for people is really about community safety. The police are not policing in a way that is securing me and people who look like me community, like our community. They are not securing our safety. Angela said it so eloquently. Safety safeguarded by the violence that they're giving us in the streets when we're peacefully protesting. And the resistance that they give to us every day when we drive on the street or just be Black while living. That's not the safety that we are requesting in our community. We're requesting that we don't have to mentally be deprived from those resources that are in every other community. And that will definitely solve a lot of these crime issues or problems that y'all say are going on in our inner cities. If you give us those resources, then we won't have to depend on the police to respond to as many things.
I completely agree. You can see different walks of lives, and you can see just different classes, different everything. And it's so many different Black people being murdered on a regular basis by our own police. You're supposed to be protecting me. I should not fear you in my neighborhood. Because if I have to fear you, why do I need you?
Just be clear in your statement.
Giving it back to them.
Okay,
Absolutely.
we're gonna save the Black music update until the end. Because I'm gonna talk about Yvonne and Marvin Gaye, and then we'll go straight to Megan. But I'm gonna pass it over to you for the Black family and Black mental health.
I don't know if everybody's heard, but the Wells Fargo CEO decided to talk out of his neck and say that the Black talent pool is limited when it comes down to getting high-ranking jobs at Wells Fargo. So let me tell you, should I keep my coins? I feel away too, but should I keep my coins in the bank or should I find somewhere else to go? That's the question we need to be asking. Because at the end of the day, as a graduate of a historically Black college and university, A&T Aggie all day, I feel like if I was a finance major, if I was a marketing major, if I was any major that could literally appeal to Wells Fargo as a corporate company, I feel like I should be considered. If my qualifications are up there, despite my skin color, I feel like I should be able to speak for that. But to categorize or throw us in a pool, a group of people and say Black people. Okay, we're not saying Christian people. We're not saying yellow people, red people. We're not saying black-haired people. We're saying Black people.
Right.
Black people aren't talented enough. So my question to the CEO would be, what makes somebody qualified?
And I feel then you can see that there are actually educated Black folks who can do the job and do the job probably more well than the people you currently have in those spots. And that's why y'all are so corrupt. And the government had to bail y'all out. And your CEO had to go to court to avoid jail time. I'm just saying.
No, that's exactly how I feel. Because I feel like at the end of the day, how many Black people were working for Wells Fargo when they decided to defraud and make up fake accounts for those who were deceased or those drawing Social Security? So I mean, how much of the Black talent pool was responsible for that?
Facts. That's a fact.
People like LeBron James, who is currently in the middle of the NBA playoff runoff. And when this decision came
should
across,
the NBA be playing? That's a whole nother conversation.
With the decision. Should they be playing?
No, they should not.
Because
don't take a game off. That's a whole other conversation. Don't take a game off and act like you are. Jay is trying to get admitted. Hold on, I'm gonna tell him that we're wrapping up. He can just spectate.
Yeah, and
oh, you got the black face on too. We can't hear you.
I can't even see him.
You can't see him?
No.
I see his video.
I can't see it.
I wonder why you can't see it. I can't hear you. Exit. We can't hear you. Exit the chat. Exit and re-enter. I'm gonna call you.
There you go. I can hear you now.
Okay.
Oh, I can see it now. I can see it now. I can see it now.
There you go. Okay, what's good?
Hey.
So we was finishing up our last topic, and then we are going straight and still the entertainment section.
Let me get a tissue in here. Hold on, give me 1 second.
You better blow
I know
your
where
nose.
I stopped.
Right.
I got you.
Motherfucker, I said I hope it's not the Rona.
Oh, exactly. Hey, do you need masks for this call?
Listen, Jay, how often are you going to join us on our chats?
Shoot, man, I hope so. I hope a lot of times.
Okay, hold on.
We would love to have you as much as possible.
Exactly.
Let's take a shot, Jay, before we start.
I got some champs. Is that cool?
If you're gonna go up that bitch, that's cool.
Hold on, baby. Can I get that? Can I get that Crown Warrior in there?
You know you date a white girl if you say champs.
Hey, baby, can I get that Crown Warrior, please? Hold on, let me turn my black side on. Turn my black side on.
I'm saying champs.
I am done. He said champ. Champ.
Okay, here we go. I got the whole bottle.
That's what I'm talking about, my nigga. Okay, because we about to get into some things.
Let's go. Because I'm here for it.
I can't see Jay anymore.
Hold on, I
can't see Jay anymore.
And I gotta get all my
We're good.
Yeah. All right, let's take this shot, y'all.
All right.
Here's to next Friday.
Ooh, I didn't know we could partake of the natural essence.
Nigga, we on Spotify.
Okay, shoot.
I mean, this is going to be on YouTube, but I didn't smoke on YouTube before.
Go ahead and put that little, what you call that, parent?
Parental. Hey, Apple and Spotify already put that on mine. Don't let your kids listen to the Blackface podcast because we goes in, period.
Okay, period.
Okay, so ground rules, y'all. I'm going to introduce the topic. Right.
Hold on. So we're not even going to cover LeBron James' tweet so I can get through that last part.
Oh, let's get through that last part, and then we go to that. Go ahead. Finish up. Sorry. I'm sorry. He be running the call and got me fucked up. Go ahead.
Okay, so I just want to say LeBron James tweeted, I've been lost for words today. I'm devastated, hurt, sad, mad. We want justice for Brianna, yet justice was met for her neighbor's apartment walls and not her beautiful life.
Yeah.
Was I surprised at the verdict? Absolutely not. But damn it, I was and still am hurt and heavily hardened.
Absolutely.
I send my love to Brianna's mother, family, and friends. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I just want to check in with my Black community because 2020 has been a damn year, y'all. And it's not just a specific Black person being killed. It's not just a specific age group being slaughtered out here in these streets like wild hogs. It's literally different walks of life. But the one thing that the common denominator, the one thing they have in common is the fact that their skin is brown, dark skin. I mean, just melanin, dripping in something. And you know what? It just seems like that's all the killing that's happening. And I'm just mentally and emotionally drained. And I feel like I have no more to give as a Black person in America right now. So I just kind of want to see how everybody else's head is, where they are, because that's important right now, that everybody is literally trying to outpour love and support, because this is a racial injustice and we're reliving an Emmett Till crisis all over again.
Yeah. And that's a good point. I think in the Black communities, more specifically for Black men, we've been told to hold in our emotions. You know, we've just been conditioned to think that mental health is not a real thing, not a real important thing on the priority of our being. You know,
right?
And the older I've gotten, the more I realize just to take mental health days for real.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's just like, okay, I'm gonna get a haircut today, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, the first time I've gotten it, you know, motherfucker, maybe we get a pedicure, massage, do something for your, you know what I'm saying? Have a glass of wine, take it to eat.
So what I've done, sorry not to cut you off.
No,
so what I've done, I have definitely quit my job for that one reason. It was just stressing me the fuck out. Can I say fuck on here?
You can say fuck, you can say whatever the fuck.
It was stressing me the fuck out. And it was just eating at my mental, and I saw myself going down a bad spiral. So I was like, listen, let me stop. Let me back up a little bit. The money was great, but my money ain't worth my mental health. I was making
Talk about it.
But it wasn't worth me coming home like, man, what the fuck am I going to do? I'm tired. I don't want to walk in this place. So I just cut it all off, and I'm not bet on myself. And that's what I'm doing right now. So I've been unemployed for a month, and I've been happy about it, to be honest with you. I just been sitting off what I've had. You know,
and I've been there, done that in so many different ways and places, because to your point, your mental health needs to take priority off of making your family happy, making your friends happy, making your
make sure them bills paid.
Make sure them bills is paid.
Make sure them bills paid.
Let's not make sure the message is diminished.
Make sure them bills paid.
Make sure the bills is paid. If you don't got a bill paid plan, because I'm set up now. I ain't just quit just to quit. Now I'm set up.
Exactly.
I am not advocating that, but we hustlers. We ain't got to say that. That's
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Definitely. We didn't even got to say that. We understand that. But to your point, for the broader audience, make sure your bills is paid, but make sure your mental health is more paid on a period.
Absolutely.
Bree, I'm glad you brought that back up, because we need to have that conversation. And that's why I want to have the mental health, because I feel like the times we living in, white people think 2020 is hard, but if they don't know how it is to be a Black person in 2020.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
The last 400 years is hard.
And that's worse than what it was now. And I feel like, to be honest, we have it good. We have it good compared to what our ancestors had, because Lord knows I can't fathom being whipped, or I can't fathom being told what to do. I can't, do what I want. No, I gotta marry who you tell me to marry. No, I'm okay.
But they crawl so that we can run, and that's on a period.
Yeah.
And last point on this, by run, I mean vote. They crawl so we can just have the simple right to get the fuck out of our house and go press a button, and that's the least that you can do.
And it's offensive.
Went through that is go press a fucking button. Please,
because if you look at that and you look at how many lives were lost, just protest for voting, I honestly feel like it is a slap in the face to our ancestors and those who paved the way for us to even be or even get to a platform where we are now, because it took us so long to get there, and we still have a long ways to go, and we're still not even there yet. You know, so somebody still has to carry this torch to move forward.
We trying.
Absolutely.
We trying. So thank you guys for tuning in for the political part part of our show. We appreciate people that really try to develop their ear to the streets of politics, because it's important, especially right now. But we also want to make sure that we just culturally aware, and we on both sides of this thing. So we're going to talk about politics, and we also going to talk about entertainment.
Okay.
I am going to let Bree introduce the topic, and then I'm going to play a couple of clips from this channel on YouTube called Impressive that got some of Tory Lanez clips and some of
Let's go.
the
I'm here for this.
clips on their stories. Because listen, let me tell y'all right now, all three of us, I feel like Bree got one opinion, Jay got one opinion, and I'm somewhere in the middle.
Okay, I'm with it. Let's go, Bree. Bree, I want you to know I love you with this whole conversation. I love you, girl.
Yeah.
Woo-wee.
Jay, you got to join next week now. Okay. All right.
All right, y'all.
Bree, go ahead.
So Tory Lanez decided to drop an album addressing allegations of him shooting Megan Thee Stallion in the foot over a month ago, on 2 days after Breonna Taylor's verdict was released. So, I mean, all I'm saying is that clout or no? I think it's straight clout, to be honest. That's just my opinion. I feel like it's wrong timing. It's all that. So I mean,
ground rules. Bree introduced. I'm gonna play this clip, and then we're all gonna say our piece.
Okay,
we're gonna let unbroken, right? Okay. And then we can have a discussion broken moment. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, cool.
Everybody can say their piece unbroken, then we can have a broken moment where we just have a free fall. Okay. Okay. So let everybody say what they gotta say first. Okay. I'm gonna play these clips so that everybody can get the full story.
So Megan Thee Stallion spoke her piece. She spoke her piece several times before that, but this was the first time she named any names. And the reason why she didn't tell the police is because she was scared in the moment. There's a helicopter above them. The police was yelling at them, telling them to get out the car. Megan was scared, and understandably so, because in that moment, one wrong move could have gotten them all seriously hurt. So I understand the reasoning behind her not saying anything to begin with. And also Tory was her friend. So in a weird way, she did protect him even.
Hold on, I want to go to the part where she's talking about Tory.
A-star. And on the people who was with her, there was a lot of speculation going on about who targeted Megan, and Megan eventually named Tory as the one who targeted her.
Yes, this Tory shot me. You shot me. You shot me. Like, everybody in the car, it's only 4 motherfuckers in the car. Me, you, my homegirl, and your security. Everybody in the car arguing. I'm in the front seat, this in the back seat. I'll get out the car, I'm done arguing. I don't want to argue no more. I'll get out. I'm walking away. This from out the back seat of the car started shooting me. You shot me.
So Megan Thee Stallion spoke her piece. She spoke her piece. And gotta keep it.
So that was Megan the Stallion. We're gonna play a couple of clips from Tory Lanez response.
Ain't no bones in tennis. Your team is trying to pay me at some whole minutes. I just lost like $10 million because it's cold business. But I got like 10 million followers that's gonna roll with me. Fans that support me because they know my heart. So I don't give a damn, shorty, no jigger. I was taught to beat the block. Any, mini, money in these streets, so I need a cop. I can play me, I can frame me, but I'ma reach the top. I would never put you in no danger, and if I did, you would've said it when you seen the cops. Hey, let me get any bad. Gotta see a couple questions.
This is how it's gonna go. Bree, I want Bree and Jay to answer this question, and then I'll speak. Bree, tell me, what do you feel about, one, Megan's story and what she said put out there? 2, about Tory's response, and then 3, who do you believe? I want both of you to answer that question and why. I want you to feel about Megan's general explanations, Tory explanation, and then who do you believe and why? Bree, you start that.
Okay, I feel like To be honest, I don't know. I'm kind of a little semi-biased. I feel like it's Megan's story, Tory's story, and the truth somewhere in the middle. When I read interviews and things that Megan Thee Stallion did before, she said that Tory Lanez was angry. He got out. He tried to shoot at the ground to try to scare her, and one of the bullets popped up off the ground and ricocheted and hit her foot. And she said that in a whole interview. And then when she went on to perpetuate as if like he just took a gun out and just shot her in the foot, I just felt like that was a dramatic little instance, little spin to put on it. At the same time, though, I will say people are mad at Tory Lanez is trying to publicize this, but I feel like Megan Thee Stallion tried to use the sympathy of the Black Lives Matter movement to try to get some clout on Tory Lanez. Because to be honest, y'all, she was literally sitting out here like, you shot me, I'm a victim, Black woman scorned down, boom, you shot me kind of thing. And I'm like, I get it, but it's like, okay, what role did you have in this? I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like, I done been in situations where females are too afraid to admit that they had some kind of role in events that occurred, let's be honest. And then Tory Lanez, to me, I don't know if I really should even consider his story, because I'm just like, a whole month after it came out, you want to address it. And it's like, to be honest, I was over it. Because I just felt like, okay, he shot you in the foot. You wanted to sit over here and act like because Black people are getting slaughtered in the streets, and I'm talking about Megan Thee Stallion, because Black people are getting slaughtered in the streets, that's an excuse for you not to tell police what the fuck just happened to you. Like, let's be honest. Like, don't try to use the Black Lives Matter movement as a reason why the fuck you didn't tell the police officer that this motherfucking man just shot you in the goddamn foot. Like, that shit don't even make sense. So let's be honest. We can't sit over here and condemn Tory Lanez for fucking dropping that album after 2 days after Breonna Taylor, and he got Megan Thee Stallion playing on Black Lives Matter movement, trying to fucking say, you know, well, the cops shoot Black people down, so that's why the fuck I didn't say nothing. I'm just be quiet and let this motherfucker just shoot me, and I'm gonna keep on about my life.
So before we were going to go Jay next, but I do have to temporarily respond to that, right? Because I did do research before this, and number one, I do want to say, to have the full story, I saw the video of after she got shot, and there was helicopters over there, because they were in Kylie Jenner. Let's be clear. Let's talk about the whole. They were in Kylie Jenner's neighborhood, so they weren't in a Black neighborhood. They were in Kylie. They were in the Kardashians' neighborhood. So
let's go.
There was a helicopter overhead with the light shining, and they were TMZ caught this because they're at the Kardashians' house all the time. Megan was hands in the air, foot dripping, and moving to the side. As a Black person that's been stopped by the police, I absolutely believe that if you go back and listen to her live, she told a story previously before Corona even started about how she got into an altercation with a boyfriend, and the police wanted her to be like, it's a domestic violence issue, and I want you to say it. She did not say it. So this is Megan's pattern. She's not automatically, her response is to not like cause trouble. Her response is like, we can settle this shit separately. My blame is the media brought it there so that like she had to address it, because I don't think that this would have been addressed, because I do think both of them are the people that would address this outside of the streets. But I will say, in her defense, it was caught on tape. This was not brought to the forefront by Megan. TMZ made this an issue. Megan responded a month or two later after people was begging her to respond the next day. And only because the publicist, which is the same response that Tory gave, came out and said what Tory is saying now. So Megan then responded to that because she knew that this response was coming. But continue.
Is it my turn?
Okay.
Or is it still Brie? Okay, still Brie.
Brie can finish up, and then you can go. Go ahead, Jay.
Okay, yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, so that's my big issue about this. And first of all, I want to start my stance on this situation by saying I do not condone domestic violence. I don't condone men hitting women. I don't condone men shooting women. I don't condone women hitting men or shooting men. But like to Antoine's point, this ain't her first time. This is her second time that not only, it wasn't nobody else that told us, Megan told us the first story. Now, I'm going to get to that later, but let's tell you my stance. I feel like in the heated events that went down, Tory did some hoe shit. Megan got pissed off, started showing her ass like she usually do when she drunk, and this is not her first time being drunk, showing her ass. And I got some points. I want all my opinions to be factual, and when I'm wrong with being factual, I want y'all to stop me. But this ain't her first time showing her ass drunk. Now, she did get shot in the foot. That's a terrible, terrible altercation to happen for a black woman or any woman, period. So I don't want any black women around here getting shot in the foot. But for her to say that he just point blank out the window, rat-a-tat-tat, shot her in the foot, shooting at the ground, that just don't make sense to me. And then for you to say that you was so recently, about an hour ago, and I follow academics. Now, I don't trust academics a lot, but I feel like academics got something. He got a little bit. He got a little something. And then he friends with Tory. And then he friends with Tory. So he posted a thing about an hour ago. You can go on academics page and check it. They said that Tory was out the window shooting and told her to dance, bitch. Now, how true that is, I don't know. But that story.
Who said this though?
Academics said it.
I'm saying, like, academics said that. Who said this?
That Tory said he got out the window and started shooting and said, dance, bitch. And I'm about to pull it up right now so everyone can see.
No, but I'm saying, like, okay, so what is your point to that he said that?
Okay, so what I'm saying is I don't think that story is true. So this is my biggest argument for this. Okay. Everybody was drunk. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that she don't know what she talking about. I'm just saying that she not clear on everything that happened that night, especially if you facing the opposite way, walking away. In my opinion, I feel like some shady shit happened, bunch of rustling and tussling, gun dropped, off safety, pop, Megan gets shot in the foot. That's my opinion. Now, if it come out that Tory out the lane, pop, pop, dance, bitch, I'll come back on this podcast and say, my bad. My bad. But all the listeners.
No, but I get what you're saying. I'm more in that camp that it was a miscommunication of the events that happened that night. You know, I do think that that's a thing. I do think that, I mean, were you aiming at her? That's a good question. That's a better defense than how he came out, though. If you would have been like, accidents happen, I shot out the window, but no, he came out like, bitch, you ain't even have a shot in your foot. Like, he came out very defensive. My thing is the response did not match, you know, because she never accused it. She was just like, to me, I think if he would have said something to your argument, I would have been like, that makes a lot of sense. The thing is, Tory didn't make that argument. Tory said, I want to sell this music and I want to capitalize off.
He wanted to cloud chase. He wanted to be a cloud chaser. Yes, a cloud chaser.
As a business person, it's
really impossible.
It's very smart. It's very smart. But at the same time, what you got to say, Brie? Finish.
Okay, you can't really say that's the best marketing practice when before you even dropped your album, people were dropping you off of features off these songs. That's not even an album, bro. That's like, 4, 5, 6, 10 bars that they dropped you off of, not even a whole song. So you trying to create an album. Now, I will say there is hypocrisy within the Black community. I will say that because you're sitting over here condemning a man before we have our facts. All of our facts together, we decide to be the judge and the jury of a Black man because somebody said this is what happened to me without getting all the facts. We weren't there. It's between 1 and 2, and somewhere the truth is in the middle, y'all. So what I'm saying is when a white person does that to a Black man, boom, we want to sit over here and act a damn donkey. Period. So I mean, where do we?
But this is the thing. Tory was First of all, Tory was making sure that Callie had no blame in the whole thing. He was never making sure that Megan didn't look like a liar, because right now she looks like a liar to y'all. He was always defending Callie to make sure that she didn't look like a liar or liability, but make sure so we know where the intention lies. And number two, I saw the video. Y'all might want to go look at the video of her stepping with the blood leaking out of her leg.
I saw it.
So my thing is, regardless of an accident, if you get shot in the foot, I'm not finna sit here and praise you. She did not actively go out there. She tried, and my point of the video was not to say that she was domestic, because she might be drunk, she might be belligerent. But at the end of the day, if you tussle, you wrestle, and you lock a female up, you know, Jay, then that's what you do. You would never hit or shoot abroad. So my point is that was some bitch ass shit from the jump. It don't matter. It really don't matter the specifics. It don't matter. Like, it really don't matter what you did. It's just like, be a G about it and be like, I made him. That's why I fuck with Chris Brown. Rihanna, I already knew Rihanna was in the wrong, but Chris was like, I fucked up. I hit this bitch. She was wilding out. Tory, he made a sympathy card. He tried to get people, you know what I'm saying? What if your foot won't broke? Chris was like, I fucked you up.
To be honest, and I'm gonna just keep it real with you. I can see where Tory Lanez's head was in the initial situation. His whole thing was like, dude, I shot at the ground. I ain't shooting her goddamn foot. Even though the bullet may have ricocheted.
But be apologetic. I don't give a fuck if you shot me. I don't care if you're shooting at this. I don't care if you're shooting at the floor, the high heavens, motherfucker. If you shot me, I need some apologies in the building. On a period. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You shot me in the foot. You was shooting. I don't care who you was shooting at. You shot me in the motherfucking foot. On the street. If you ain't text me, nigga, you could have texted me like, yo, it got out of hand. I got drunk. That's the thing. Like, clearly, hold on.
He said he was in love with this woman.
Clearly,
he said he was in love.
Clearly, she didn't get it. But this is the thing. If you're in love with a motherfucker, you would at least gotta. She said, I haven't heard from him or his people. So you would at least gotta. Yo, shit got out of hand last night, shawty. You know.
He said that. He said that.
I didn't see that. He did.
Yeah.
But you know what?
No, but he said it in the song. He didn't say that.
No, he said it in an interview.
He said it in an interview. While she was going in surgery, he said that.
Y'all sound like some Tory apologists. Because at the end of the day, he made a mother. You do. Because the nigga shot a whole one. My thing is, I don't give a fuck. Tory's 5'1".
It's not that.
Tory has got little man syndrome, as most people, we know a lot of people with little man syndrome. And Tory got little man syndrome. And Megan is a tall bitch. You know what I'm saying? She's very, and she's going through a lot in that text message.
She's a stallion.
What I saw was, she definitely is going through a lot. She lost her mother. She lost her grandmother within the year and a half of each other. So is she drinking? Yes. Is she abusing alcohol? Yes. Is she abusing drugs? Yes. As most of us are doing during this quarantine. And I'm going to admit to that. You know what I'm saying? So yes, it's happening. But is it to the point that she should get shot at the foot as another 5'2" grown-ass man? I don't give a fuck how intimidated you
Why
are.
his height keep getting shorter every time somebody
he gonna
end up 4'2".
Like, you don't have the confidence as a
he getting shorter every time somebody talking about this.
Because that's some bitch ass shit. You shrink to me. You shrink.
To be honest though, as a woman, we should be woman enough to identify the fact that we egg that shit on. I mean, just be honest.
But there's a lot of bitches. That he ate it on.
No, because it's fact. No, it's fact. It's fact.
How is it facts? What do you?
They were at
the only facts that I saw was her coming out of the car with the blood dripping from her leg. That's the only facts that I saw. That's the only facts that I visually saw.
I got facts for you, but I'm gonna let you know.
You did not read all the articles.
Yeah, I read.
At the end of I read. At the end of the day, they sat over there and they were at a pool party. Megan Thee Stallion got upset because Tory Lanez was flirting with some goddamn body else, and Megan Thee Stallion.
What does that matter? I read the fact, but that does not matter in the ultimate resolution of what happened.
No, take responsibility to what led up to it. Take responsibility for what led up to it. If I hit you upside the head 5 times and then you slap me 1 time,
well, Brie, you know me. You already know what's happening. Like, you know me. Like,
we don't get no
hit me upside the head and you know what's going down.
But that's you.